Hello and welcome back to Nationaliteams, the show where I'm not gonna explain what it's about, cause you should just go and watch the first one. Today's Halloween Spooktacular is about the monsters that appear in the episode Mysteries on the Disorient Express from Be Cool Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo. Everyone's favorite iteration. For real though, I recommend it.
Yes, here is my ticket, my good man.
What's in the bag?
I'm his clothes.
Anyway, in the episode, the gang is excited to take a train ride, except for Fred, who would much rather be solving a mystery.
3 days trapped here without a mystery.
And because this is an episode of hit animation franchise Scooby-Doo, he gets his wish when a monster appears on the train. And then another. And then another. And then another until... Oh, by the way, while all of this is going on, Daphne has been blocking her senses one by one to enhance the others. Eventually, the gang discovers that the train is transporting a major breakthrough in modern medicine.
Behold, this singular nostril will be transplanted on a desperate, waiting mononostriloid patient.
But through a misunderstanding, the gang gets locked up in the train's cargo cart. Luckily, they manage to break out of there and solve the mysteries, and as it turns out...
What a twist!
And so the episode ends, but not before Fred says his famous catchphrase.
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure. Stolen treasures.
So let's get on to the monsters, shall we?
It's the legendary Japanese mountain goblin, Tengu.
Ah, I see Velma has decided to go with the Discord emoji description of a Tengu. Velma Dinkley, more like Velma Discord mod. It's not an inaccurate description though. The Tengu is a mythical Japanese creature, or a yokai if you're a disgusting weeb. But like a lot of Japanese culture, the original can be found in China. The original version, the Tiangao, is a dog-meteor hybrid that is said to be responsible for eclipses. And though Tengu still translates to sky dog, the two most popular Japanese flavors they come in don't resemble dogs. Those two flavors being the Dai Tengu, the most well-known red face and long nose variant that's often depicted in festival masks, and the Karasu Tengu, the more bird-like variant. Karasu means crow, by the way, which the Tengu in the episode pulls from, and every other Tengu the gang has faced for that matter. These Karasu Tengu are evil spirits that get pissed off if you damage the forest they reside in, and will punish you by performing Kami Kakushi, aka spiriting you away, aka kidnapping.
Manticore, a legendary Persian creature.
The absolutely insanely dangerous man-eater of Persian myth. It has the face of a man, to trick its victims into thinking it's human. But this facade is soon broken, when it smiles, and reveals its 3 rows of razor-sharp teeth. And when it tries to speak, all that comes out is... trumpet sounds. Its body is that of an exceptionally large lion, with a shaggy mane and sharp claws able to cut up anyone who gets in its way. Its tail is that of a scorpion, which it can use to poison its victims. The poison is strong enough to, well, specifically not to kill an elephant, but anything beneath that size ain't gonna make it. And if that wasn't bad enough, the tail also has detachable quills that it can shoot out at its target from far away. Cause that's what this death machine needed, a needler attachment. Oh, still not OP enough for you at this point? Well, guess what, sunshine? Some depictions also show it having dragon wings, so it can also fly, I guess. So, good luck fighting one, idiot.
Haniver, the rat snake demon from Belgium.
A cryptid like Belgium. Wait, a cryptid from Belgium. Jenny Hanivers are extremely vicious sea creatures from around the 16th century. Highly poisonous, and similarly to a basilisk, they could kill you with just one look. They roamed the coasts of Belgium, where they would lay dormant, waiting for unsuspecting people to come by, so they could strike, and then get sold to tourists for easy money. You see, these cute little guys are actually the dried and mummified carcasses of raisin skates. They'd get carved into weird shapes to be sold to the schmucks who believe the stories the sailors told about them. Or to weirdos that are just into them. I totally killed this sea monster. They're super real, trust me. The only reason you've never seen a live one is... cause they can kill you by looking at you, yeah. You die instantly. Now are you gonna buy one or not? It's widely believed that their name is actually an English bastardization of the French phrase Jean d'Anvers, which translates to youth of Antwerp. With all that being said, I'm pretty sure that the appearance of the one in the episode is based on the monster in my pocket version of a Jenny Haniver. Someone working on the episode must have been a fan. Anyway, props to the episode for including these weird fish mummies instead of those boring, overplayed regular mummies.
An Egyptian mummy?
Now, the ancient Egyptians had a way to preserve a body for the afterlife. Embalming a body was the way to begin. And for that you need a ritual nerve. Yeah.
Oh, so Mummy Classic. You know about those, don't you? The gang sure does. And although this one is specified as being such, mummies aren't exclusively Egyptian. There are a bunch of cultures around the world that practiced mummification, but Egyptian mummies are the go-to mummy monster since the early 1800s, when ancient Egypt made their comeback in Europe in what is known as Egyptomania, where Europeans with too much disposable income got kinda weirdly obsessed about mummies and the curses surrounding them.
Fucking white people.
Truly the weebs of the 19th century. I'll probably go more in depth about mummies in the future when I make Global Roster Egypt in like 2047 or something, so subscribe so you won't miss that. Hint, hint.
Tzitzimitl, the South American demon monster?
I'm pretty sure Mexico is still part of North America, Velma. Velma Dinkley, more like Velma Dixie, am I right? Anyway, Tzitzimitl, or Tzitzimitl if we're talking about multiple ones, are female skeletons from Aztec mythology that are also from space.
Tzitzimitls are vile beings that possess people and turn their eyes to stars. And I suspect, at this very moment, there is a mime among us.
Oh, and they also have snake dongs? They are associated with stars, especially the stars visible around the solar eclipse, which are actually believed to be Tzitzimitl attacking the sun so it would never shine again. Silly Aztecs, everyone knows eclipses happen because of meteor dogs. During these eclipses they would come down to Earth to possess men and... I don't know. Get laid maybe? You see, despite being creepy space skeletons that want to snuff out the light, they are also deities of fertility. Cause doom revenants with snake dongs is what I think of when I hear fertility.
That's Tarasque, a mythical creature of French legend.
We're out of swanky intros for the next two creatures, but who cares, cause this one's French. The Tarasque was a dragon that was part lion, part turtle, and depending on the storyteller, it could also be part fish, part ox, part snake, part bear, and part whatever the pet store got left that the Manticore didn't take. It was a fearsome beast that when it wasn't giving the avatar the special don't kill vomit, it terrorized the town of Nerluc. Until one day when the original French maid, Saint Martha, rolled into town wearing a big iron on her hip. Her big iron in this case being a super soaker filled with holy water, which she used to tame the beast and make him see the light of Jesus. After taming it, Martha decided it was a good idea to show her newest convert to the citizens of Nerluc, who promptly killed it as soon as it stepped into town. Martha, pissed her new pet had just been killed in front of her, yells at the townsfolk until they themselves convert to Christianity, and they rename the city to Tarasque and depict the Tarasque as part of their coat of arms. Though still as a monster eating a guy, instead of the good reformed Christian boy it died as.
And let's not forget the Grim Reaper.
That's right. Before any of the other creatures show up, Death himself appears on the train. Who's from? Where is Death from? Well, let's see. This Death is the Grim Reaper, the European depiction of death, which gained prominence during the 14th century, when between 30 and 60% of all Europeans croaked because of the plague. The episode's depiction also has wings, which are features of the Angel of Death, Azrael, and of the Greek depiction of death, Thanatos. When the Grim Reaper is given a nationality, it's most often Swedish, as a reference to the cinematic masterpiece, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Nah, I'm kidding, it's a reference to The Last Action Hero, of course. Though there was also that one time they tried for Swedish but somehow ended up with Jamaican instead.
Hey now, don't look at this. This isn't for children to see.
But enough meandering around the point, cause I figured out where this version of the Grim Reaper is from. You see, when Fred is explaining how the mysteries fit together, this map shows up for 1 second. And if we match up the monsters with the dots on their respective countries, only one place remains, which informs us that the Grim Reaper is from... Yeah, that makes sense.
Hemogoblin? I think he's from Idaho.
Yeah, so I actually couldn't find anything on Hemogoblin for the longest time. I've asked friends to help look, I've scoured through cryptid encyclopedias, checked sports mascots, I've even gone to the Polish Scooby-Doo wiki. I don't speak Polish, by the way. I was truly desperate, but I'm glad to report that after hours of searching, that the Hemogoblin was made up for the episode.
I got to do what I call my encyclopedia humor, which is you go in and just start creating Hemogoblin, you know, the blood goblin, Hemogoblin, and the animators create that.
But not to leave everyone disappointed, I'm still gonna talk about him a bit. The closest thing I got that he might be based on appearance-wise are those Jersey Devil and Hopkinsville Goblin type creatures. You know, mid-state monsters. Gotta thank my buddy at Sandlerverse for coming up with that term. What I can confirm though is that the name is a pun on hemoglobin. That's the stuff in red blood cells that carry the oxygen from the lungs to the rest of the body. It's a common enough pun that it's been used for all the creatures in media, but the Scooby gang have also faced a vampire named Count Hemoglobin, so there's that at least. One more thing that might has to do with its Idaho origins is that there's a mountain peak in Idaho called... Wait, are you serious? Okay. It's called... Ah, screw this, I'm ending the video here. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you haven't already, when I dropped those subtle hints earlier, you should subscribe to my channel. Also like and comment, I'd actually like to know what you think. Oh, and if you're planning on watching Be Cool Scooby-Doo, I recommend the episode where a gorilla attacks a retirement community. Have a happy Halloween. Bye-bye.
Brooklyn, but don't forget them any gold.